bit more time, but every time I come back from meeting with a like-minded business owner or someone in town, like I just feel really energized, which is not a feeling that I get after I Twitter someone or send a Facebook message or something like that. So I think meeting face to face, it just kind of being an introvert, I like get my fill of meeting somebody and then I can go back to being alone, and it's preventing that isolation from taking hold. Oh, and I also think video chats are a great way to go. Say you live in an area where you can't meet with people or you don't know a lot of people. Video chats are great. I wasn't a big fan when it first started coming out years ago, but I actually do some calls on Skype video or Google Hangouts. And I feel like seeing people's face is it's just a great way to make connection and not feel like I'm alone all day.
You've got a mastermind group that meets by video chat.
Yeah, which I think is great. We're across the country and we get on the video chat once a week and have our mastermind group. And for me, it's been really helpful to see these people face to face, quote unquote, face to face across the computer. And I think it helps me feel like I'm a part of something and that I'm not alone in all this.
With that said, I remember being at New Media Expo and connecting with your mastermind people face-to-face for real.
For real?
We go out to dinner. Yeah, they were actually there sitting at the table with us. I think that you can't compare the two, but if you don't have the face-to-face option, video chat certainly is a good opportunity for somebody who wants something a little bit more than email, Twitter, phone. I think when reaching out to people, this is a kind of a side note, the more senses that you can touch.
Touch is a sense.
Touch would be a sense. So if you can meet face to face and shake their hand, that would be good. But if they can see you, if they can get you through a different modality like email or phone or chat or video chat, the more of those you can do, the better connection you're going to have. But it will also combat isolationism.
Yeah, it's kind of that win-win situation there. But speaking of mastermind groups, that's another great way to start getting out of the house or not be alone, is to join a group and something that meets regularly. It doesn't have to meet all the time, but meet regularly. And it doesn't have to be business related. It could be business related. It could be mastermind group or a networking group, but it could also be, I mean, there are thousands of groups on meetup.com that you could check out.
And or it could be church.
Church is a great example.
I mean, that's a weekly group a lot of people go to.
Yeah, anything like that you just feel like you're a part of something and that you're not alone. You're interacting with people.
I have a friend of mine who volunteers every week teaching people how to read. So volunteer opportunities would be something maybe that you'd want to look into. We do a Toastmasters group that meets twice a month. And that's been really beneficial because the people are not in our same industry. A lot of them have jobs. They're not even self-employed. But it's people that are all looking to get better. So I've really enjoyed the connections that I've made from that group, not just the speaking skills that I've helped.
And I would say when you do this, try to have some at least weekly recurring events. I mean, depending on the frequency that you feel like you need to get out of your home or out of your working environment, but set up stuff. I mean, David, you do 3 yoga classes a week and go to the gym every other day.
Right.
So you're out and about all the time, but setting up these classes or events or lunch or coffee dates, we do urban dates once a week where we pick somewhere in around the neighborhood that we're going to walk to and grab a cup of coffee, except we don't drink coffee. So grab some tea or something like that. But we have it set up to say we're going to go out and we're going to do something, and it's going to be a regularly scheduled event.
Yeah, that's maybe worth saying here too, Laurel, is that if you're in a situation like we are, and we don't really work together, we do Red Podcast together, but our businesses are separate entities. We do work from our homes. We're both here during the day, and we have a tendency to kind of gravitate toward work discussions. So if you're in a situation like that, I think having a non-work or work is off limits type of event can be very, very beneficial because otherwise you just get to the point that we were talking about earlier where all you're doing is working, and you can take the work with you. So you're still basically in the same situation you were when you were at your house being isolated.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point of doing all this? If it's all you do and all you talk about and all you think about, you got to branch out a little bit to have a more well-rounded and fulfilling life.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is the big takeaway for you, Laurel? I think for me, if I had to pick one of these things that we've talked about, I'm going to pick two. One, leave the house daily. That's extremely important to me. And I think reaching out and connecting with people on a non-Facebook or social media way, so you actually have real relationships with real people, not the kind you can just turn off or hang up when you get frustrated with them. So those two things to me would be the big takeaways from the feelings of isolation.
I think my big takeaway is going to be prevention is better than a cure. These are habits that you want to put into place. It's not something you want to get to the point where you feel depressed and anxious and isolated from everybody and you don't know how to fix it and you're trying to find a cure. These are things you got to implement into your life, create habits out of them, and make it part of your lifestyle. And that's what we've done and what's helped us working at home and still trying to have a well-rounded life and do what we like to do.
Redpodcast.com is our website. The goal of RED. What does it stand for, Laurel?
Real entrepreneur development.
Real entrepreneur development. We've been at this for a while. And the goal of this podcast and everything we do at redpodcast.com, it's to show you not tricks, not how to game the system, but what you need to do in order to have long-term success in self-employment, in owning a business, in outsourcing, in creating passive income, in being successful, and basically writing your own ticket for life. A lot of people don't have options. That's one of the things that we have had, Laurel, and the options come from us being able to make money when we want to make money and control our own lives. So that's what we want to help you do. If you're interested in that, redpodcast.com has plenty of previous podcasts that we've put out, and we are available at iTunes, Stitcher Radio, basically anywhere podcasts are available. And we would love to hear from you. If you're interested, you can go to redpodcast.com. You can contact me directly, contact Laurel, send us a question. We answer questions quite a bit on here, don't we, Laurel?
We love questions.
We do. And we've got plenty of answers. With our experience, who doesn't like to be the expert?
Oh, I do. The expert of calculus with friends.
So we will see you next time on the next episode of Red Podcast.
You've been listening to Red Podcast, Real Entrepreneur Development. Subscribe today using iTunes, Stitcher, or via RSS at redpodcast.com.